It's a crazy little thing called Lovdev. Today's episode is 129. Barks and Sparks. I've been waiting for some gear, not drugs. New audio equipment to record my podcast. I'm using my old one. Basically, I've purchased a new pod microphone and I've bought this little thing that you connect your phone to it and I can just play music and talk over it. And yeah, what do they call it? They call it an audio interface. No one cares what you're talking about. Unless you're a podcaster yourself, you know what I'm talking about. I'm waiting on that. It's supposed to be delivered today. I was hoping it would get here before I record this episode. Because I'm doing it weekly now. I'm pulling my finger out my rear side. That's it. I've pulled it out my rear side. I am in a very... I couldn't say I'm in a good mood. I've had a gout attack. I've been attacked by uric acid. No! It just came out of the blue. Like, I'll tell you what happened. So I was in bed and I was sleeping and then I could feel like... I had a dream that somebody stepped on my toe, and I was like, oh, God, that bloody hurt. And then it kind of woke me up, and I thought, I can still feel that pain, so it wasn't in my dream. I didn't think, like, you know when you think of something in your dream. I was like, oh, my God, whatever. So I started thinking about work. I thought, did I get attacked at work? Did somebody step on my foot? And I was like, no. And then I thought, what's this frigging pain, man? And then I realised, oh my God, it's not a gout attack, is it? I've had a gout attack. Oh no. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I haven't had one for ages. It's been over 5 years since I've had a gout attack. And I've stopped drinking alcohol, so I thought it can't be that, but it seems like it is. Those of you who don't know what gout is, I'll quickly go over it. Gout is basically, it's a form of arthritis. So in our body, we've got this thing called uric acid. And when we eat certain types of food, it has a lot of uric in it. Protein. I don't think it's protein, it's uric. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a doctor, folks. Anyway, so when you go for a wee, it's supposed to all come out because this uric acid is in your blood. Unfortunately, my kidneys are not very good. They don't flush them all out. The uric that's left in your body goes into your joints and it forms into a crystal. And those crystals are like spikes. And basically, that it's painful. I had it a couple of days ago and I couldn't even go into work, so I'm losing out on money here, folks. I don't even know why I'm laughing. I think I have to laugh, otherwise I'll be crying with gout. Yeah, I've not been at work. So I've had a couple of days to recover myself and I felt fine. I felt back to normal. And then it's come back again. I can't believe it, man. I'm on medication. I'm on everything. Oh, I'm getting old, folks. I'm getting old. I don't know what to do in my life. So that's what's happened to me. I've been at home. I've been stuck. I've been just buying stuff, even though I haven't got the money. I don't even know why. But I want this podcast to sound good. That's the reason I brought all these microphones. And I bet when I listen back to this, I'll be thinking, I don't really need a new microphone because the one I've got is absolutely fine. I don't know why I bought a new one. Oh, well, I've bought it now. It's been an interesting week, hasn't it? With all the stuff that's going on. I did a gig the other day in Liverpool, and on that day there was a protest going on, right? And I'll be honest, I was nervous, man. I was nervous to walk through Liverpool because of my skin colour. Obviously, I'm tanned. And I thought, I don't want to get attacked. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's weird times in the United Kingdom at the moment, and it's awful whatever's happened. We all know what's happened. This podcast is supposed to enlighten people and keep you away from certain subjects because you don't want to listen to that. Well, I don't know, man. The world's gone mad, innit? The world has gone absolutely bonkers. But anyway, I had a good gig. There was a couple of issues. One thing I've noticed, I did a gig last night, right? And I just felt like I think I'm good at reading the room. I'm good at picking up energy, and I felt like in the room they obviously saw me. I was the only brown person in the whole pub, and I just felt like I don't know, man. It's hard to describe how I felt. It's like you're in a country and you can't speak the language, so you feel kind of left out. That's how I can describe it, I think. That's the best way to describe it. How would you feel if you was in another country and you couldn't communicate with anyone or tell them how you felt? So you obviously immediately feel like an outsider. And I felt like that. And funny enough, the promoter who was there, he said it as well. He was like, I could tell, man. He said I could see like the tension as soon as you walked in and that you walked onto stage. But you know what? This is what I do. Just because a load of stuff has been going on, it shouldn't stop me from what I love doing. And that's to make people happy. So I'm there to make you laugh, to make you forget about things in life. Talking about forgetting about things, how about we do a
Ask the UK.
Today's question on the Ask the UK forum on Reddit has been posted by Mint Moose. Mint Moose asks the question, what is making the noise in my roof? What is making the noise in their roof? Well, I don't even know how to answer this one because I haven't read all of your post, obviously. So I'm going to go with my guesses first of all. What's making noise? Is it because it's hot now in the United Kingdom? Well, I'll say hot. It's nice. The weather's it's all right. You know what I mean? You can walk around with a t-shirt and shorts. Is it a swarm of bees or wasps? Because I've had that in my roof, in me roof, right? Had to call out the pest control to get rid of them. Is it a bird's nest? But then it shouldn't be because your roof should be secure and no bird should be able to get into your roof. Is it a rat? I don't want to say you got rats, but could it be a rat? I don't know where your house is. You could be living in, I don't know. You could be living in the countryside. In a wood cabin. We don't have wood cabins in the UK. We probably do, but not many people have got them. Or is it someone who lives in your roof? What do they call them now? I know there was a documentary about people living in roofs. All right, so people used to have this thing, I think I mentioned it before, where, you know, there's a stranger in your house, basically, and they're living inside your loft or your roof, you know what I mean? Not in your loft, should we say. And then things start going missing in your house, like food, clothes. You'd have to be a really silent person to live in somebody's house, isn't it? It's not that, is it? I don't know. I need to find out. So Mint Moose has said, every day and night there's a noise in my roof, which sometimes sounds like birds hopping. However, other times it sounds more static and crackling. Could it be electric? Is the electric playing up? Maybe, I mean, in my roof, it's converted into a bedroom. Well, it's not a proper room. It's a room, but it's not been authorised, if you know what I mean. So the previous owner, he just plasterboarded the roof and he stuck a couple of light sockets in there and electric switches. There's even a radiator in my loft. I'll never use it, though. So they have said, could it be that? I don't know. It could be. Well, I don't know. You got crackling. You can't hear it in any other room other than the master bedroom. With the flat roof, all the other rooms and roof parts sound fine. It's waking me up and keeping me up at night. If it's crackling, it sounds like it's your electric. Could be that. Or it could be mice. I don't know, man. Why don't you just go up and have a look? That'd make it so much easier, wouldn't it? I'm going to read a couple of people that responded to it. Somebody put, might be raccoons or squirrels. We don't have raccoons in the United Kingdom. Someone else has put, if it sounds crackling and water dripping and it is in one place, it will be wasps. That's what I said. It's probably wasps. Apart from that, it could be anything, a rodent, a bird. You won't know until you go up there. I'd love to know when you found out what it was. Or, why don't you stick a camera up there and you'll find out, and it maybe. We'll have to see. I need to find out, Mint Moose. Let us know what the update is. Let's hope it's not one of your pets. I'm not assuming you've got a pet. But, I mean, if it's crackling and it could be fire. Also, there was an article the other day. I saw it. It was this dog started a house fire, right? He was left alone in the house, and this person's got other pets. The dog got hold of this power bank, right? Battery power bank that charges your mobiles. If you don't know what a power bank is, he started chewing on it, and then it's kind of caused a spark. I don't know how he done it, and because the power bank, the dog was lying on top of this mattress, and it just caught on fire, and he burnt the whole frigging house down. I've seen the video of it. The dog's looking at it like, what's happening here? And the other animals are looking at that dog to go, you bloody idiot, look what you've done now. They obviously couldn't put it down. The whole house got burnt down. This was in the US. So you better go up there and check your roof. You don't make sure it's no rats or anything, because they start chewing on your electrics. You've had it then. Because it could start a fire, couldn't it? Because rats will eat anything. Luckily, my pet, she doesn't chew on anything because she ain't got no teeth. Animals are crazy, innit? They don't know the danger of doing certain stuff like jumping around and, being a right. My pet, what she does now, she's getting old. So she just sits anywhere and she won't move. Like, she'll sit in the middle of a landing and she doesn't care. And once, like, the landing light was off, and luckily I was at the bottom of the stairs and I was walking, I kicked her, not like on purposely. I kicked her because she was sitting there like, do you know what I mean? Like, move out the way. What are you doing? She's an absolute hazard now, my pet is. Maybe it was a cat that gave me the gout. I can't blame her, to be honest, because I had it before that incident happened. But imagine if my cat did burn my house down. That would be revenge from her, because all she wants to eat now is food, and she gets really angry when I don't feed her. Like, you can hear it in her meows. It's absolutely annoying. Maybe she's got Prader-Willi syndrome. If you don't know what Prader-Willi syndrome is, it's a genetic disorder. You get it from birth. Basically, you just can't stop eating. Every time you see food, you'll eat it, regardless if you're full or not. I've worked with people like that. Maybe she's got that. I wonder if cats can get Prader-Willi syndrome. There must be one, and there's got to be something similar. Having a quick look on the internet, there's something called the polyphagia. Polyphagia, I think it is. It says, just like other behaviours take to extreme, some cats eat excessive amounts. Mine does. It's a scientific term for excess eating. Polyphagia, I think it is, refers to food intake beyond caloric needs. That's definitely her. Primary causes of it can be behavioural or psychogenic reduction of stress, associating food with pleasure, simply liking a particular palatable food, or might initiate eating too much. Well, she'll eat anything, man, and she'll eat stuff off the floor in the kitchen. So my cat's probably got polyphagia. Can't even say the frigging word. Oh, I've decided to do a new show. I'm writing a brand new solo show now. I'm thinking of calling it Awkward. Awkward. Because, most stuff that's happened to me in my life that's very interesting is unpeculiar moments, awkward moments in my life. So I've decided to do that now. I'm just telling you guys I want to do more writing, and I think that's the perfect thing to do. Anyway, That was just a quick mention. Going into it swiftly, talking about awkwardness.
It's time for No Stupid Questions.
Thank you, DJ Trump. Yes, it is time for the No Stupid Questions. Today's has been posted by Long Independent 4907. The question they have asked, it's quite interesting because I need to know this, obviously. I'll tell you why. Do Japanese people joke about the Hiroshima and Nagasaki the way the Americans joke about 9/11? I don't know much about Japanese people. Do they joke about... They're quite strict people, aren't they? They're very respectable. I only know this through my brother. And as you guys know, my daughter wants to go to Japan for her 16th birthday, which is not far away. So I better start saving money now. Do Americans joke... Well, Americans, do they joke about 9/11? If they do, that's good. Because I've got jokes about 9/11, not like in a bad way. That just when I used to be a cab driver, which is all true. And what I've noticed now, before I answer this question, it kind of answers it. So I've got material about being a cab driver during 9/11. And since all this rioting that's going on in the United Kingdom, I've done it twice. And it feels like people don't want to hear it, or they get very... what's the word I'm thinking? Very nervous. They get very edgy about when I start talking about, being a cab driver during 9/11, and obviously there's a lot more to it. I don't want to go into it, but I do find people are on edge about that. So in the UK, I'm not sure if 9/11, I mean, it happened in America, but, it's because of what's happened, obviously, the past couple of weeks in the UK. It's getting out of hand. But if Japanese people do joke about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's quite nice. Maybe I could write jokes about that. I don't want to, but you know what I mean. I'd love to know. They've put down, obviously, I know these are vastly different examples, but I was just wondering if they're able to joke about it, or would that be a sensitive subject? I think all subjects are sensitive. It depends on the person who's listening to it, I guess. Yeah. Someone has put down, a couple of times a year, a Japanese company would send 2 people to purchase special stock of our products. I worked with them for a few years and we were friendly. I walked in one morning and was filling out paperwork. When I asked what the date was, he said 7th of December. Then he smiled and said, Happy Pearl Harbor Day. Oh, that's funny. Another person has put down, this reminds me of when I was still in the service stationed in England. I got called into my first sergeant's office, having to explain why I made flyers for the shop, inviting everyone to a barbecue on the 4th of July. I was told I can't distribute the flyers that said, come join us for the 4th of July barbecue deep in the heart of enemy territory. I was like, oh, my bad. It's too soon to joke about that. I mean, we're all having a huge party. Do they not understand why? Leadership enjoyed it and could appreciate the gag, but the nationals on base were not amused. Yeah. I'd love to know if Japanese people do take humour in the way the UK and the US do. Is it generally true, though, that in the USA they don't mind if you make jokes about 9/11? Because if that's true, I'm catching the next plane, no pun intended, to do my jokes there. I would love to know, actually, it's quite an interesting subject. I've had a good look on the old internet. I basically typed in, do Japanese have a sense of humour? Found an article, and this looks like it's been put up by a travel consultant. They have said that Japanese humour is often a bit dry. It's very obvious and slapstick, especially on TV or in films. People tend to take everything quite literally, which is why British humour can be difficult to grasp. Sensitive issues are a no-go. Nothing on race, sex, or any kind of dark comedy. So I can't gig in Japan. There are lots of words that sound very similar in Japanese or have a different meaning. which could be made into a joke. But when I mention these to my wife, she just says, they're different words, why would that be funny? If I tried to make a funny comment in Japanese during a conversation, I would interject it into English. I often get owaiji agagu, which means dad joke or old man joke. According to this, it looks like they have got a sense of humour, but it's very like Mr. Bean-fied. That's how we can put it. Don't talk about sensitive subjects. I'm not quite surprised because I think that's the whole Asian culture is like that in a way. I was gonna do a weird news story, right? But do you remember my last weird news story about the woman who chained herself to the tree? Well, here's an update. I've never done this. There's an update on this, right? So basically, quickly break it down. If you haven't heard the last podcast episode, what are you doing? A woman got found in India, right? She was in a forest and she was naked. I don't think she was naked. Anyway, she had her feet were tied to the tree and she said she's been there for 40 days without any food or water and claimed her husband done it, right? And I thought, nah, how did he do that? She must have tied herself. It turns out I was absolutely right. The woman that they found chained to the tree had tied herself, according to the police, right? Lolita K, who was 50, happy birthday. She got rescued 10 days ago from the forest in the district. So there's a statement from the police that alleged that her husband chained her and left her in the forest to die without food or water. Miss K is now receiving treatment in a psychiatric facility. She has not spoken publicly. The US Embassy has refused to comment, citing her right to her own privacy. So Miss K's discovery had really shocked all of India and the police and the investigation team. Now, the superintendent of the police in Sindhurg told the BBC that Miss K has now said that she was not married and that she was probably suffering from hallucinations when she gave her first statement. Police said that she told them she had been distressed because of her visa had run out and she was running out of money, so she bought locks and chains and tied herself to the tree. Maybe she's doing a protest because she wanted to stay in India. So the doctor, superintendent of the psychiatric hospital where she was kept, has told her condition is improving. She's now eating and walking and exercising, which is good. But she is under treatment to give her some nutrients to help her body. I just wanted an update. So basically, that's what's happened. She's admitted to it, that she tied herself up. Oh, well, not surprised. How about we do the actual and official weird news story? Today's weird news story comes all the way, I believe, from Australia. I haven't done a weird news story, should I say, in Australia in ages. The title of today's story is A Shirtless Man Was Arrested for Allegedly Trying to Snatch a Baby from a Pram on Adelaide Bus. Then a passenger claimed the man tried to perform a very bizarre act on the infant. It's not going to go the way I want it to, I think. A 49-year-old man has been charged with allegedly trying to snatch a baby from its pram on an Adelaide bus and pretending to breastfeed the infant. What? The child's mum raised the alarm with the driver of the 502 service as the bus headed down Bridge Road in Gullview Heights. South Australia police alleged the child's mother took the uninjured boy back from the man. The driver quickly made radio contact with the bus depot, reporting back claims the man had allegedly tried to snatch a 1-year-old baby. A fare evader got on the bus and he went to grab the lady's baby out of a pram. This is what the headquarters have heard. She come up to me and said, "You've got to get this guy off the bus. He's not good. He tried to grab my baby out of the pram and breastfeed it." What? I'm not too sure what to do here. The suspect, who allegedly not validated or bought a ticket, was shirtless and wearing blue rubber gloves. He did not initially flee the scene, instead taking a seat, sitting quietly at the back of the bus, according to a radio message from the driver. The driver pulled over at the next stop, but the man had taken off by the time the police arrived. Police confirmed they are investigating a suspicious behaviour report made on the Friday morning. They have charged a 49-year-old man from Salisbury East with aggravated assault, disorderly behaviour. He was also served with a 3-month transit barring from all public transport. It is a barring from children. 49-year-old has been refused police bail and will appear at the Elizabeth Magistrates Court. I wonder if we can catch up with this case. Breastfeeding man. That was today's podcast. Who knows, maybe next week it will be even clearer and soundier and funnier. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, folks, see you next week.